traumatizing to me. Growing up without a father, being killed by the NYPD, beaten, strangled to death by 16 police officers, it brought back the memory yesterday. On yesterday, I was in my church, and we had service, regular service. When we had the service, two young ladies, now that we know, have set up a whole disturbance scene because they are following, they were sent by some bloggers, some media bloggers that are trying to use what happened to me, robbery, to get their following up, to get their content up. And when I was in church, I was preaching, and the 69th precinct, they have officers downstairs in front of my church to make sure that we don't get robbed anymore. The lady, I believe, I think her name now is Tasha, I don't know her last name, and another young lady came into my church, and one of my ministers told them that you cannot record. You can't record. And they began to make a scene. So I told them, let them record, let them record. They began recording, and she began to outburst and to cause a big disturbance in my church. So I said, come on over here, come on over here. Now on the side is where I have people line up for prayer. So she came up over here, not to the pulpit. Everybody keeps saying that I invite her in the pulpit. You have to be a minister to be in the pulpit in my church. So she came on the side, and she began to yell at me. She began to cuss me out and say whatever she wanted to say. I let her say what she wanted to say, and I'm going to be posting more video because you guys didn't see the video inside of the church, so you'll be able to see everything. So she came over, she cussed me out, cursed me out, called me all type of names. I said, all right, me and my church started to pray. And I said, now you have to go. You have to get out. You have to go. What you guys don't see on camera is that she started to walk back to leave, and then she spit back around. And she came back after my wife and my daughter. So I have my wife and my daughter, who's 10 months old, sitting there, and she came and said, and now you're a liar, going towards my wife. And that's when you see her walk in front of me, going at my wife and my daughter, and I grabbed her. Everybody's saying that I choked her. How can you choke somebody from behind? I don't understand it. I never wrapped my arms around her neck. I have no fingernails, so they say that I scratched her. I don't have any fingernails. I never have fingernails. You can see I don't have fingernails. So I grabbed her from behind, by her shirt, from behind, and by her shoulder. And I escorted her out. And I'm going to be posting this video. I'm going to post a video. And actually, if you look on the blogger, there are two bloggers, Larry Reed and King Jive. All right, these two bloggers, they're nobody, but they're trying to get publicity off of me. They were the ones that sent these people here. So once again, Bishop Whitehead was set up. We are coming off of the eve of me being robbed by 3 gunmen. By 3 gunmen. Okay, that's the eve that we're coming off of. 3 gunmen came and robbed myself, my wife, and my church. And the gunmen put a gun in my 8-month-old baby's face. Okay, and that's the only thing that I can remember. This lady had a bag under her arm, and she was going after my wife. And I grabbed her, and I took her out. I pushed her out, and I have the video. And the police officers saw the video. All the police officers saw the video that was there. I spoke to Chief Badry. I spoke to Inspector Stevenson. I spoke to the captain, which is the inspector of this church, Amadullah. I spoke to him. He was at a wedding. I went through all of the chain of command to make sure that this lady was arrested. I went through all of the chain of command to make sure that they had the proper information to arrest this young lady. Both of them. Nobody arrested them. They told me that the detectives was coming. Okay? The detective came. Her name was Francois. Detective Francois. And I'm filing a complaint against her. I'm filing a complaint against her because she was the one that gave the order to illegally arrest me. She didn't ask me no questions. She didn't ask the victim. She didn't ask my church no questions. She came on the scene. She had a conversation with the police officers, and she turned around and said, arrest her. Now, let's go back. let's go back. My minister, once these ladies started to disturb my church, my ministers went downstairs to the offices and they were sleeping. Okay? They were sleeping. She went downstairs, they were sleeping. And she said, come upstairs, there's a problem. Okay? And the problem was going on. And when I pushed the lady outside of the door, the officers was coming upstairs and they went right in their hand. However, if they wasn't sleeping, then they would have been able to understand what's going on. I just also posted on my page the women that created this disturbance to show the world that this was all premeditated. It was all premeditated. And what they say was, they spoke to the NYPD and they asked them, are you protecting Bishop Whitehead? And they laughed and said no. They said no. But if you're the NYPD and they're asking you questions about me and I was just robbed, wouldn't you do some investigation on it? And I specifically spoke to the police officers before I went upstairs and told them, okay, you guys, make sure you come up and do your rounds. They never did a round. They never did anything. The same police that was there to protect me was the ones that arrested me. I have knots on my arms because of the handcuffs, and I felt like my father. I felt they was taking my rights away, and to be honest with you, I really didn't care about anything at this point, because like I told the police officer, I said, I advocate for you guys. I advocate for you guys. I bring the community together with you guys, and I say, let's trust the NYPD. But now how can I say, let me trust you, let the community trust you if I don't trust you? So they arrested me for nothing. For nothing. I didn't hit nobody, which I could have to defend my family. You charged at my wife and my 10-month-old baby. And how am I arrested? So Miss Francois, Detective Francois, came on the scene and ordered my arrest without having no conversation with me or anything. And I was detained and I was put right here in the the 6th precinct, where I was thrown in a cage with another felon. Okay, so I was treated like a criminal. So I went from the pulpit to the cell for no reason. The New York Police Department failed me and failed my church. They failed me and failed my church. They were supposed to protect me and they arrested me. If I was a priest, if I was a Caucasian priest, it would have never happened. If I was a rabbi, it would have never happened. And that's why I came with my baseball hat on and my Philly sweater. So therefore, I am, and I understand I don't look like a bishop, and I understand I don't look like a pastor, but I am. I don't look like a doctor, but I have my doctorate. 2 doctorates. So at the end of the day, why do I have to change my style in order to get respect? I believe, and I'm going to do another live later on, I believe that the NYPD do not believe that I was robbed. I believe that they feel that I set this whole robbery up. And I've heard this from the NYPD, and I'm not going to say any names. What's going around in the NYPD is Bishop Whitehead set this robbery up. They staged it. So now, why would they respect me in my church if they feel that I'm a criminal? I'm a black man, so automatically I'm a criminal, right? So going through the NYPD, and it's verified, they believe that I set it up. So until they see, I guess, these criminals that when they get caught and they see that they're arrested and I have nothing to do with it and I'm a victim, then I want my apology. Because the NYPD, the media have set up, a platform to believe that I'm not a victim, I'm a villain. Because I'm African American. I want to have a conversation with the commissioner. I'm not talking to nobody else. I want to have a conversation with the commissioner. And everybody knows that Mayor Adams is my mentor. Y'all done scared him away. I haven't spoken to him. The media scared him away. I haven't spoken to him at all. The governor, I haven't spoken to her. Nobody has called me. But I guarantee you if I was a rabbi, I guarantee you if I was a priest, and I guarantee you if it was some gang violence, that's when they called me. That's when they all come. That's when all of the politicians call me. Hey, Bishop Whitehead, I know you have relationships with the street. How can you help us? So everybody want to use me and abuse me, but yet I go from the pulpit to the prison cell because I had to protect my family. And then they come and say, Bishop, we're sorry. All the charges are void, and we're letting you out. After my shoestrings are out, after my belt is out, after the process of me being booked has already been done, you're gonna say I'm sorry? What was the reason for arresting me? You were supposed to protect me. So the reason why I'm having this press conference is for my family, for my friends, and for the world to understand that the NYPD has made a grave mistake. And they're going to respect Bishop Lamar Whitehead. I don't care if they don't like me. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. But you're going to have to respect me. And there was untold amount of community affairs officers who I respect. Called me and asked me and apologized on the behalf of the NYPD because they know my work. They know what I do. And I want my name to be known in a great way, not a criminal way. And I want the media to stop criminalizing, right? You guys put what you want to put in the media. You say that I was convicted of identity theft. True. Scheme to defraud. True. All of that. Well, let's talk about how Suffolk County, the one that convicted me, the DA, Spoda, had to resign because he was under federal indictment. Why? Because he was manipulating paperwork and manipulating witnesses. And my search warrant and my case were all manipulated. And we're going through the process with that. Why don't we give that story? Why don't we give the story, Bishop, let's see this paperwork that you have. So I can show you the search warrant that don't even have a judge name. It just has a stamp of the judge name that they used to execute. Let's talk about how they went all the way to Jersey, put stuff from my house in a garbage bag, put it in a truck illegally, and brought it back and tried me on it because I'm a black man. What all the media wants to talk about is both of them. Nah, let me see that. These people right here are important to me. That's why I'm doing this. But nobody wants to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about things that they did to me to get me in prison. All they want to talk about is my felony. But how did I get that felony? How did I get it? So I want a public apology from the NYPD. I'm calling on Mayor Adams and I'm calling on the governor of the state of New York to have a meeting with them. I want to meet with the powers that be. Don't ask me to do anything community until y'all meet with me. And I'm going to keep pushing this because y'all illegally detained me because I'm a black man. That's the only reason why they did it. That's the only reason why they did it. There's no other reason why they did it. I did nothing